Do you think your sister has ruined Prince Harry?
Well, let me answer that real quick for you. The answer is yes.
He stayed silent for over a decade. No interviews, no tell-all books, no tabloid scandals. But now, Meghan Markle's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, has finally broken his silence. And what he's revealed threatens to unravel everything the Duchess of Sussex has spent years crafting. If what he says is true, then Meghan's entire royal persona might be the most elaborate performance ever staged by a Hollywood actress. The silence wasn't weakness. It was restraint. And now, that restraint has snapped. Trevor Engelson isn't just some scorned ex looking for relevance. He's a successful TV producer with a new wife, a new life, and 3 kids. He moved on long ago. But according to sources close to him, Meghan never really let go. Not of the spotlight, not of the narrative, and certainly not of the role she created for herself on the world stage. And now, Trevor is ready to set the record straight. Not out of bitterness, but because the truth has been twisted into something unrecognizable.
But there's one of those conspiracy theories on the internet that she might not have actually carried her babies, one or both, that they may have used a surrogate. Trust me, because I'm neck deep in all the news around these two. And there are many people who long before today are convinced she used surrogates and that her pregnancies were fake, one or both of them.
The first bombshell? Meghan allegedly had a hysterectomy during her marriage to Trevor, an irreversible procedure that would make carrying children biologically impossible. This one revelation sent shockwaves through royal watchers and conspiracy theorists alike, reigniting the long-dismissed claims that Meghan's pregnancies were, at best, suspicious. From bumps that folded like origami to bellies that seemed to float independently of her body, skeptics were mocked for years. But if Trevor's account is accurate, those skeptics might have been onto something all along.
You would see this kind of her gauging dangers in the room, looking around to make sure it's safe, she's not going to bump anything, and from him you would see that as well a little bit. Now this doesn't tell me if something is real or fake, it just gives me their emotional state. So in this case, I could say with pretty high confidence that neither of them seems to be on alert.
The very idea that Meghan could have orchestrated a fake pregnancy, not once, but twice, makes every public appearance during those months worth a second look. It gets stranger. Because according to Trevor, this wasn't just medical coincidence. It was preparation. Years before she ever met Prince Harry, Meghan played a pregnant woman in a low-budget soap opera. The role didn't last, but what stuck was the physicality. The belly cradles, the waddle, the teary-eyed expressions.
I'm finding that quite uncomfortable to watch.
It is uncomfortable, but I don't think, because she's done this before for photos, I don't think that is a real baby bump.
It's way too big. It's way too big.
And sort of too low as well.
Yeah, it's like a metre out there. I mean, It looks the wrong shape.
I mean, where's she going to give birth there? Through her knees or something? I mean...
Trevor says watching Meghan during her actual pregnancies felt like déjà vu. It wasn't maternal instinct. It was muscle memory. And when millions around the world watched her cradle her stomach for the cameras, Trevor saw something else. A seasoned performer slipping into character, and Meghan's acting skills didn't end there. Trevor claims she could cry on cue. Not just misty eyes, but full-blown waterworks. One moment she was fine, the next she was weeping like a soap opera star mid-breakup scene. He called it performance art, a tactical sob fest used to derail arguments and flip the narrative. Sound familiar? Because according to Trevor, she did the exact same thing during high-profile interviews. Oprah didn't get Misty Meghan by accident. That was years of trained performance delivered with Oscar-worthy precision.
She has quite deliberately caused doubt, and she has created mischief knowing that it would damage the royal family.
Behind every tear was a tactic. Behind every sob, a strategy. But if you think the crying was manipulative, wait until you hear how the marriage ended. There was no screaming match, no drawn-out divorce battle. One day, Trevor simply received a FedEx package. Inside, Meghan's wedding ring. No note, no goodbye, just cold, clinical closure. Like she was returning a dress that didn't fit her new brand.
But worse are the persistent rumours that she's not a mum and never has been. Just when the difficult Duchess wanted all the talk of her fake baby bumps to fade away, along came a so-called friend to turbocharge the conspiracy theories.
According to sources close to Trevor, this was the moment he realized he wasn't part of her future, because he wasn't part of her narrative. The calculated silence of that moment said more than words ever could. And that narrative? It was curated from the start. Multiple insiders now claim Meghan had Prince Harry on a vision board before they ever met. She denied being interested in the royal family, but friends close to Trevor say otherwise. From humanitarian causes to royal connections, Meghan was building a brand, not just living a life. She curated friendships like handbags, trendy, seasonal, and disposable.
My brother was pretty forthcoming about this too. Several times in the house as teenagers, we would smell this really weird smell coming from downstairs that smelled like burning wire. I can't help but believe that some of that affected maybe my sister's development in utero. You're not supposed to drink and smoke when you're pregnant.
If you didn't serve the brand, you were gone. Everything was strategy, right down to the people in her inner circle. Even love seemed like a means to an end. When she entered the royal family, the pattern continued. At first, the firm was charmed. Meghan was eloquent, photogenic, media savvy. But soon, cracks appeared. Leaked stories that always seemed to favor her side. Reports of staff resignations, screaming matches over tiaras and scented candles. Staffers dubbed themselves the Sussex Survivor Squad. According to Trevor, it was the same playbook. Dominate the narrative, flip the roles, and when caught, cry. The royal institution wasn't being unreasonable. They were being outmaneuvered by a master of perception. Even Meghan's pregnancy announcement for Archie was, according to Trevor, a PR strategy. It landed just as the press began peeling away her golden girl image. The timing wasn't sentimental, it was surgical. A royal baby bump makes headlines, not scandals. When the heat turned up, Meghan didn't change behavior, she changed optics. When the story got ugly, she dropped a feel-good headline and reset the board. She didn't react to controversy. She diffused it with manufactured joy. Trevor says he kept quiet for years because he wanted to take the high road. But now, watching the world rewrite history, he couldn't stay silent. Not for fame, not for money, just for truth. Because while Meghan gave the world a sanitized fairy tale, lavender-scented and PR-approved, Trevor watched the unedited version. The one without filters or flattering angles. The one that never made it to Netflix. The one that was raw, calculating, and entirely too convenient. And this isn't just about an ex speaking out. It's about a pattern, a script, a role so well rehearsed that even seasoned media figures were fooled.
That belly looks very abnormal. That it looks very strange. If you look up close in the video, and I encourage people, look at this. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress. It does not look like a pregnant belly. It looks all bumpy.
Is Meghan Markle the misunderstood underdog crushed by palace tradition? Or the mastermind of a media strategy so precise it duped the world? Because if Trevor is right, if the hysterectomy, the fake bump, the crying on cue, the vision board, the sudden ring return, all of it is true, then this isn't just scandal. This is the greatest royal con ever televised. A playbook perfected, then performed for millions. And the story's not over. So, what do you believe? Was Meghan a victim of outdated royal rules, or the architect of her own rise? Did Trevor finally provide the missing puzzle piece? Or is this just a bitter ex with impeccable timing? And what about the pregnancies, the tears, the ghosted marriage? Are we watching a woman live her truth or perform it? Was this all coincidence or cold design? Drop your raw thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. And if you're still sipping the Sussex Kool-Aid, maybe it's time to look closer. Because when the script is this perfect, you've got to wonder, who wrote it? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because the mask might be slipping, and the truth is just getting started.